My prayer, what I would pray to God was, Lord, either save me or kill me. I was a pig, man. I was a horrible, awful sinner. Just a pig. And money was everything. The checks were all coming signed by God. You know, when you do live that life, God changes it on a dime. I got involved in a serious car accident, the first of many in my lifetime, but I got addicted to prescription painkillers, Valium. And that was back before, you know, they had all this computer stuff. So I had like 5 doctors running, and I'd get all these prescriptions for hundreds of pills. And I'd sit there and do my business and eat these things all day long and function until it stopped working. But my life blew up. So I ended up homeless on the streets of Los Angeles. People ask me, wow, what's it really like to be homeless? I said, go down to a McDonald's and sit out there and wait for someone to go throw their hamburger away in the garbage can, and then reach in that garbage can to get your food. It's really hard to do the first time, but after that, it's the way you eat. That's the sheer depravity of what being homeless really means. My prayer, what I would pray to God was, Lord, either save me or kill me. And I would go out to freeway bridges and think about jumping, or down to the train tracks and think about jumping in front of one of the metro lanes. You know, I just wanted it all to end. But I was, and still am, a hopeless optimist. Eventually, I ended up sitting in front of a very famous restaurant in downtown Los Angeles called Philippe's, French dip. My dad used to take me there as a kid. And I asked God one more time to either kill me or save me. Shortly thereafter, a young kid came up to me and handed me a pair of sandals. And he said, you look like you need these way more than I do. And this guy came up to me in a business suit, all ready to start his day. And he said something to me that just cut me to the core. He said, I don't normally give bums like you money, but for some reason today, I'm compelled to give you just $10. And I was like, oh, Lord, thank you. I have $10. I can go down the street and get a bottle of vodka. And I looked up to thank him, and he was gone. Just gone. But instead of taking that $10 and hitting the liquor store, I decided that I was going to sit down on a bus bench and collect my thoughts. Pretty soon a bus pulled up, and when the bus pulled up, for some reason, it was if somebody was pushing me on that bus. I got on that bus and rode it to the end of the line because it was hot out that day. The bus was cool. I got off that bus and walked out, and there was a lady standing in the doorway of a place with a cigarette dangling out of her mouth. She was all wrinkled and just, you know, just a cagey old broad. And she looked at me and she said, we've been looking for you. And I was like, what is this all about? So I went up to her and I said, what's up with that? And she said, come inside. And what happened was, it was a program to get people off the street and to get them back into the world. And for some unknown reason, I said, yes, I need help. And they worked with me, and they got me back. I did god-awful jobs, man. I was pulling shingles off of roofs and stuff like that, but it was work. and I could live there and stay there, and they'd feed me. And it led me to the point where I started back. Now, it wasn't easy because I still had to go to jail. I talked to a wonderful guy yesterday by the name of Mondo de la Vega, and he was a gang member, and he wrote a book called From Gangster to Grace. And I mean, this guy's on fire for the Lord. And he and I were talking. We were in the same jail in downtown Los Angeles called it's called the Towers. It's heinous. It's brutal. The guards beat people on a daily basis. Once I witnessed a young Hispanic kid, just get beaten brutally by the guards for making a cross out of strings that he had torn from his blanket. And it's like being in hell. But I got through all of that, and I was in Palmdale, California, of all places, and I had been in a county-run rehab facility in Acton, California. It used to be a Japanese internment camp, and I got out of there and went to a halfway house, and I was really beginning to come to Jesus at that point. And I went to a church service, and at the church service, the pastor told the congregation something that I don't advise anybody do, but I did it. He said, you need to reach out to everybody you've wronged and tell them how sorry you are and not care what they say in return. And I was like, well, you know what do I have to lose, man? I'm in a halfway house up here. I'm pulling shingles off of roofs, digging ditches. What do I have to lose? So I sent an email to a gal that I had dated in high school. We had dated all through high school and early college, and then we went our separate ways. And I sent her this email, and I said, are you the same Jeannie Moore that went to Dana Hills High School and USC? And that's all I said. And then I sent it. And to be honest with you, I felt like a creep, But I got an email back from her, and she said, I thought you were dead. And we started communicating and talking, and it's been 20 years now that we've been married. And it's been a wild journey filled with Christ. And the thing is, you never know what's going to happen. I didn't think I was worthy of doing what I do today, any of it, but God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And believe me, back in my day, we had Rolodexes. And that God calling me was like being at the last ticket in the Rolodex and saying, man, I'm out of people to call. I got to call this guy. And all I heard in a very audible way was, gather my people, nothing else. We started here, the Watchmen, 10 years ago, under the premise of just that, gathering my people, his people, and providing hope and a place to fellowship and hear the messages from outstanding speakers. And it's been a phenomenal journey for us, but it's all because of God. And it's not easy, you guys. I mean, we've been persecuted. Why not? Look what happened to Jesus. But if you stay the course and you remain mission focused, you can accomplish anything.